Table Frost with First Tide here. Got a great video for you today. Flounder, catch, clean, cook. Went out to the Norfolk side of the HRBT, and finally, my wife and I filled our flounder itch. I think you guys are really gonna enjoy it. Probably over a dozen different species of fish. Man, we had an absolute blast. And coming back right now, you'll see, man. End of the video, it's hard to walk away from fish that are still biting, but it's dark out. Neither of our navigation lights are working, so we need to get into the dock. But hope y'all enjoy, and let's get into fishing. There we go. Uh-oh. Bluefish. Oh no. Better than getting cut off, I guess. Gross. He's gone. What I want to do after catching a bluefish, and really any fish, is just examine my leader, check my knot, make sure it didn't get frayed. It looks pretty good, so we're gonna send it right back down. Throwing around on my light setup with a 2500 series reel with a 7-foot medium light rod, and I'm throwing a 1/4 ounce jig head, and I'm kind of just bouncing it off this bottom here. A little bit of a depth change from 14 up to like 8 foot right here. I'm trying to see if there's any flounder down there on the bottom. There we go. Might be another blue. Oh, look at that. Second species of the day, lizard fish. Do not want to stick your finger in their mouth. But it's gonna go right back. Leader, knot are good. Going back down. There we go. Oh, it's a flounder. Let's go. Look at that little like 10-inch flounder. Not bad. I love these fish, man. I think they're so much fun. This is a beautiful little fish though, and it's what you got to look for with these is some depth changes. You want to make sure you're on a, I try to stay on a smooth bottom. Not to say that they can't be caught near rocks, and they usually stack up near structure, but wherever your jig is, I prefer it to be flat and smooth, just because that's how those fish hunt. They lay flat on the bottom. Leader's a little bit frayed up, so I'm gonna retie. I tied up this jig head on a loop knot, and that allows the bait to get a little bit more action, especially with this curly tail, you know, sitting down there on the bottom shaking. That's gonna get these flounders' attention. Yeah, I think there's some flounder right under me if you want to come up and drop straight down. Oh, this is a flounder. This is a nice one. Oh no, that's not what we wanted. These are ribbon fish. These things are gross, man. I don't even like touching them. Species number 4 though, in the first 10 minutes of casting. There he goes, back down to the depths where he belongs. There we go. Look at that. Species number 5, croaker. Real variety today. The female blue crab is full of eggs right now. I don't know if you can see her, but... All right, working a little bit deeper now. I'm gonna use my medium rod, and I'm gonna tie on a bucktail and just kind of bounce that around on the bottom and see if I can entice a flounder or a redfish, you never know. And I don't know if it's necessary or if it does anything, but I even put the scent on my bucktails. But yeah, all right. Time to jig this around, see what's happening. Oh my gosh, I'm on. The reel's, the handle's on the opposite side. It's a flounder too. My wife and I got mixed up with whose rod was whose. I accidentally switched the reel on mine over to the left-hand side, or the right-hand side, because she's left-handed. That was tough fighting this fish up. This is a decent flounder though, probably about 11, maybe 12 inches. Such a cool, pretty fish, man. It's gonna go right back in. So if you're new to fishing, most of your everyday spinning reels are ambidextrous. All you have to do is twist the handle off, switch it to the other side, and yeah, you should be in business. When you're tightening a handle onto a rod, you don't want to go too crazy. Just about that, that's all you need. And then this has a little protective cap that covers the bearings on the other side. There we go. Now I should be able to use this rod again. Huge stingray just went under me. But yeah, I'm basically just surveying. I'm trying to find if there's a certain spot that's holding fish, and really just cover ground. Not all of these pilings are gonna hold bait and hold fish, but what's that? Is that a flounder? I think that is a flounder. This one might be close to keeping. What is that? Oh yeah, it's a nice one. Stay hooked, stay hooked. Got one. He's gonna be, let's get the bump board out for him. Nope, he's not a keeper. I have to let him go. But that's a beautiful fish, man. 17 and a half. Wow, that's cool. He's gonna go right back. Unfortunate, but finally on a bigger class of fish out here. I think Jill might have just caught a keeper. Let's go check it out.
17 3/4, I can let it go.
You're sure though, mouth closed?
No, I'm gonna let it go. Mouth closed.
He's 17 and a half on the dot?
Yeah.
Nice. 17 and a half on the dot. I'm gonna go for a little bit bigger one. There we go. Species number 6, I believe. 6 different kinds of fish in an hour. So cool, man. So cool. That's your first keeper flounder. Good going, B. Hold them tight. Sometimes they start kicking. Nice. 17 3/4.
Yep.
There we go. Nice flounder, nice flounder. Heck yeah. He was in between those 3. Sweet. Keeper number 2. Here we go. 19 and a half. We're gonna keep that. That's flounder. Keeper number 2. That's what I've been after for the last couple of weeks. Finally figuring them out. I'm learning. Hell yeah, flounder number 2 down for the count. That flounder was caught on a 3/8 chartreuse jig head tied to a loop knot with a curly tail pearl colored grub. On my little setup, 2500 medium light. You could probably be using a medium in this situation. I'm about to smack into this piling. Ooh, tide's starting to go crazy right now, but we're gonna try to get another one. So that last fish was actually caught sitting in between those pilings on the end right here. Now that's 2 flounder that I've caught on these last couple pilings now. I'm gonna consider that a pattern, and now I'm gonna start focusing that. So to talk about a little bit of safety stuff, if this wind were to pick up and get to the point where I don't feel safe or my wife doesn't feel safe and we needed to head in and get into safer water, what we would do is we'd hop on the other side of these bridges, and that's sheltered from the wind. You still have your ongoing current, but the waves will be broken up by these pilings. So if you went to the other side, you'd be pretty safe. And it's always good to just, have a game plan for what you're gonna do in the case of emergency or case that it gets too rough. Be conscious of that while you're out on the water. And if you're out in these conditions too, always wear a flotation device. Now mine doesn't auto deploy when it gets wet, but all I have to do is pull this yellow cord at the bottom and I've got my life jacket. If you don't want to be safe and wear it for your loved ones. The grim reality is that if you have a life jacket on, at least your body will be found. If you don't have a life jacket on, the chances that they find you are pretty low. Oh, I'm on. Flounder. Little guy. Check that little guy out. Maybe like 10 inches. Right back into the drink. I'm gonna drop down this 1 ounce bucktail on my medium Fenwick HMG rod, and this is paired up with a Shimano Casitas 151. For what I'm targeting, this should work good. I'm on. Nice fish. Please be a flounder. Ah! No, toad. There he goes. There we go. What is that? Is it a flounder? If it's a flounder, it's... Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah! Hell yeah! Oh shoot! Oh my gosh! This might be the best one of the day! There's another keeper! Oh, this one's fat. These 4-inch grubs. No, he just coughed up glass minnows. Let's see. 18 and a half. We're keeping him. No! What? He jumped out of the boat. Nice little flounder. Like a 12-incher. Right back. There's a good school of them in here. That's a flounder. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nice flounder. I don't think he's gonna keep, but he's a nice one. Let's just see how big this guy is. He will keep. He is 17 5/8. I'm gonna wait for Jill to get up here with the cooler, unless he jumps out. What's going on, everybody? I'm out here cleaning up some flounder. This is the day after. I've already cleaned up 2 of the fish. I saved the biggest and easiest for last because I am not a professional at this. I'm still learning how to fillet fish. This was not how I cleaned fish growing up, but nonetheless, I'm gonna show you how I fillet a flounder. So to start things off, I have a 9-inch Dexter fillet knife. If you're wondering which side is the top of the flounder, see this lateral line here? That lateral line lets the fish sense moving bait. See how it has a bend right here? Think of that as pointing to the top of the fish. You can also tell that his eyes are kind of positioned towards the top as well. I'm gonna start by making an incision going from his forehead down to his stomach. So cut in right there. I'm gonna take the blade of my knife and I'm gonna work right down this spine. I'm gonna start from the bottom here. You're not trying to go deep, trying to just stay shallow. This is kind of gonna be a guide for when I start to fillet. Yeah, we're working right down there. Now, take my fillet knife. I'm just gonna slide down those spinal bones starting to get to his spine. The spine is in the center of these fish and it runs head to tail. Try to just bounce over that spine. Now the rib cage. I stink at doing the rib cage. Delicately as I can. Slide over it. Actually, didn't do too bad there. You'll see what I'm about to do once we get towards the bottom. I'm gonna go through. I'm just gonna take my knife. Okay. Now the last step, the fillet. You can notice I leave this attached at the bottom. That's because I hate trying to grab onto the fish's skin at the very end. So what I'm gonna do is make a very shallow cut. Might even try to use the side of my table here. And just work my knife right down the fillet. There you have it. These are gorgeous fillets. I did miss a little bit on the skin, but I'm not perfect. I try my best. Nice, thick, white, flaky meat. All right, let's do the other side. And again, beautiful white meat. Hardly any meat left on the skin. That's a good fillet. So on a flounder, it doesn't look like there's a lot of meat on here. You have a top fillet and a bottom fillet. And that's the same on this side, top, bottom. So there is a decent amount of meat on these fish, despite them being flat. We're getting ready to cook up this flounder. If my kitchen seems a little bit bare, and that is because the dang ice maker line exploded. Leaked water onto the floor, all out here, a little bit in the hallway, and then into the dining room. So, gotta rip up all this flooring, but like I said in the last video, that's why I have homeowner's insurance. Just out of curiosity, I wanna see how much fish we got. All right, so that is zeroed. We got all 3 of our flounder right here. Let's see, 16 ounces in a pound, right? That's about almost a little bit under 2.5 pounds of flounder. So I'd say that's pretty good. That's a pretty good haul. We're gonna give some of this to friends and family, and then the rest my wife and I are gonna eat. So if you notice, when I cleaned this fish, I did not rinse off the meat. That's because you do not want to introduce fresh water to your saltwater fish. They just taste better if you don't rinse them with salt water. These fish have a lot of natural oils in them and they just taste way better. Seasoning is going to be very simple. I'm going to do this complete Sazon seasoning. Sprinkle a little of this on, and then of course lemon pepper. These fish are delicious. You really don't need a lot of seasoning for them. This isn't how you have to eat it. This is just how I like it. I've been doing a lot of barbecue, so I gotta hold back on how much seasoning I apply to this meat. Little light dusting there. Your lemon pepper out. And a light dusting there. Flip these fillets over. Throw our butter in. Probably get that nice and toasty. Take our beautiful flounder fillet, lay it right down on that butter. And when it's ready to be flipped, it will kind of peel up and release itself from the pan. Scoop it up, drop the flip, that just helps it where to go. Take it out. I'm gonna hit them with just a little bit of salt here. Less than 24 hours ago, this fish was out in the bay, and now I'm getting to enjoy it here at my dinner table. So cool, and let's dig in. Wow. Wow, that's so good. It's so light. The seasoning amount is perfect. I can still taste the fish. It's slightly buttery, but oh my gosh, that's good. You all, nothing beats simply made, fresh caught flounder. The lemon pepper is a must. The Sazon seasoning, you know, it's got a little bit of everything in it. Really just throws a little bit of that on there. But man, this fish is delicious. Oh my gosh. And to just, like, I caught this yesterday. It's so flaky. Look at how easy that just breaks apart. It's got a slight crust on it from the pan. I'm just so glad to have finally gotten a keeper flounder over this last like 2-week stretch. I've really been trying hard for them, and I feel like yesterday my wife and I were rewarded. We caught 5 flounder that would have kept. We ended up keeping 3 of those. Yeah, and I mean 3 fish is really 2 is enough for us. We're gonna give the 3rd fish to my sister-in-law Jamie, and yeah, I mean this is an amazing fish to eat. They're so much fun to catch. I'm so fortunate to have the opportunity to go out and target these fish in the bay, especially with all the stuff that's going on in the flounder fishery here down in North Carolina. Very controversial. We won't get into that. But if you want to hear about it, maybe I'll talk about it on the podcast this week. I'm so fortunate to be here on the lower Chesapeake Bay right now. And, you know, growing up in the northern part of the bay, we didn't have flounder or redfish, speckled trout, all of these more southern fish. We didn't have those. So to be here now and get to enjoy these fish and learn how to catch them, it's an absolute blessing. An absolutely delicious eating fish. If you get a keeper flounder and haven't tried it, take it home, make it just how I did, or look up a recipe of your own that you want to try, and oh my gosh, man, this fish is so good. I'm gonna dig in and finish this. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm beyond fortunate to be able to share my experiences and my wife's experiences with you all. So please, if you enjoy this type of content and want to see this channel grow, subscribe, like, comment, share, tell your friends. These weekly uploads are a goal of mine. I want to do that for you all. Keep this content coming out. So I hope everybody enjoyed the video, and I will see you next week. Also, I'm really excited to eat. I'm starving. I got my little salad right here. I'm gonna demolish this fish. So good.